Well, there's about to be a new power couple in Raid Shadow Legends. Step aside, Siphi and Roto. Step aside, Marichka and Taurus. I'm a little bit joking, but I do think that now, after this big, huge buff to Sir Nick, I believe that Sir Nick and Lady Noelle will be on the same level as those other two power couples, which is saying a lot given how good they are. I want to give my opinions on this huge buff, not just to Sir Nick, but also to Gliseah Soulguide as well. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it, though, because these buffs are huge. All right, guys, Sir Nick, okay? Odds are you know the before on Sir Nick, and you know, in case you've been living under a rock, or you're just absolutely underwhelmed with all the options in the token trader, Sir Nick, he's for sale. It will cost you 8 legendary champions. Or if you have the 500 they give you initially, 7 legendary champions. And honestly, Sir Nick got a huge buff, soft buff, by the release of Lady Noelle. Sir Nick was one of the worst Void legendaries in the game. He's either the first or second fusion ever in Raid Shadow Legends. Was it him or Foley? I think it was Sir Nick. I think it was the first fusion ever. We're talking old school. I wasn't even playing, but I started in the early 2019, and I started after Sir Nick fusion. Anyway, I say this to say that he got a big buff just by Lady Noelle being released because she's that good. But now they're buffing him, and now, depending, for endgame players who are sitting on a bunch of dupes legendaries, he might be worth buying, especially if you have the Lady Noelle fusion. Let's look at the buff itself here. They're taking his A1. It used to be a 50% irresistible freeze, okay? Now it's a 65% chance of placing a freeze that can't be resisted. If Lady Noelle's on the same team, it's 100% can't be blocked or resisted. That means it will ignore block debuffs as well. And AoE on the A2, for me, this used to be a hard-hitting HP-based nuke way back in the day, okay? But again, back in 2019, everybody was talking about, listen, the only good HP-based nuker in the entire game is Sir Nick. But he fell off, right? Big time. We've had, you know, dozens of better HP-based nukers released since him. And when I pulled him out of the vault when Lady Noelle was released, I gotta be real with you guys, I was reminded how much power creep has happened in the game. His nuke was weak. They're fixing that. Attack all enemies. Ignore 30% of each target's defense if Lady Noelle is on the same team. Places, it used to be a shield. Now it's a strengthened big version and a shield. The shield 30% of the damage inflicted, but they're also increasing the damage multiplier. First of all, Sir Nick and Lady Noelle, already when they're together, they're up there in terms of power couples in Raid, like in terms of combos in Raid, right? Now that he's going to be able to nuke 30% ignore defense with a boost on damage multiplier, we don't know how much it is. That's bonkers, man. A3 is unkillable and continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns. That can be booked down to a 4-turn cooldown. Now, it's an unkillable continuous heal on all allies. Counterattack on himself, thus more freezes, right? Irresistible freezes at that. And then if Lady Noelle's on the same team, you also get a taunt on him for 2 turns. And let me tell you, a taunt plus unkillable is extremely annoying. And now we're going to give a Winter's Guardian passive to this dude. It's called Winter's Guardian. Enemy ignored defense effects used against allies under shield buffs are decreased by 30%. So that alone is really solid. It's a little, you know, echo of Harima's passive. Obviously quite different, but it's predicated on the shield is 30%. But that's huge. But enemy ignored defense effects used against Lady Noelle while she's under shield are decreased by 60%. Now all of a sudden, Lady Noelle can be tanky. And the one thing kind of missing on Lady Noelle right now, at least in my experience, is her tankiness. She has everything else, but now she has that too. Ooh, that's nasty. We're talking Leo Donatello, Taurus Marichka, and Siphi Roto's level combo now, maybe even above. All right, let's go to Gliseah. Gliseah Soulguide. Now listen, Gliseah, first of all, let's just take a moment. She is one of the most beautiful champion designs in this game, in my opinion. So it's always been a shame and an utter waste that she's pretty trash, you know? She is, I've always thought she was compelling in terms of her kit, right? Like when she was introduced into the game, champions like Warlord and Yumeko were absolutely just running rampant everywhere, right? So she was put as a response to those type of lockout champions ruling the game, right? Now, this is before mythical champions, right? So she has this on her passive. This champion's skills cannot be put on cooldown whenever an enemy tries to put either this champion's skills or an ally skills on cooldown. Place a freeze on that enemy, denying that effect. Freeze can't be blocked or resisted. The rest of the kit is just kind of meh. It's all right, you know, a block debuff, 60, 70, 80% freeze on a 4-turn cooldown. It just wasn't quite enough to justify her use case. And they're fixing that in a big way. Real quick, though, as a reminder, I can't stop thinking about Sir Nick, man. Lady Noelle has an increased speed on a 3-turn cooldown. She can cure sheep, or she can instantly activate the goodwill. Keep in mind, that's the unkillable in the taunt, and the all that crap now is going to be instantly activated off the A2 of Lady Noelle of Sir Nick. I mean, I'm sorry, I keep going back. I can't get onto Gliseah, but we're going to get a counterattack, an unkillable, a continuous heal, and a taunt on the instant activation. It's not gonna put the skill goodwill on cooldown, man. And then the AoE free. This is the best revive in the game. It's a 3-turn cooldown AoE revive with an AoE freeze. Come on, if they're on the same team, it ignores block debuffs and it can't be resisted. Oh my word. Okay, I'm sorry, but I had to go back to it again. Just talk about, because everything that they do to buff Sir Nick makes Lady Noelle even better too, and their synergy even better. All right, Gliseah. Awesome design, right? And they really nailed it with Gliseah Soulguide too, guys. They really did. Listen, they've had some hits and some misses on their champion buffs. Agnar, Fortis, those are some Void legendary misses. But they've had a lot of successes too, in my opinion. They nailed it with a few champions. I can't think of them. Togrin, Gliseah. I think they've done a good job on a lot of champions, right? But this is, I think, maybe their best balance update yet, since they've been doing the 2 buffs per month, right? Anyway, her A1 attacks one enemy. They're going to bring the freeze to a 50% chance, but also a debuff spread. It's not one random debuff anymore. It's all debuffs as long as they're under freeze. It still is conditional, but she has freeze in her kit. That's a really nice buff to her A1 to start with. On her A2, it used to be an AoE with a weaken and a steal 1 buff from each enemy under a freeze. Now it's just a straight up steal all buffs from all enemies. Damn, that's Nell level. That is Sun Wukong. That is Gamaran. There's not that many steal all buff champions. I might be forgetting like one mythical or something. But anyway, what else we got here? And then we get the weaken. I freaking love it. I love it. All right, the A3 is a block debuff on all allies, okay? There's a 100% chance to place a freeze now. Actually, is it a 95% chance? 75, I want to check the 75 plus 20. So it's going to be a 95% freeze. I wonder if they'll just fix those numbers. I have no idea. Keep in mind there's a 4-turn cooldown when booked and a 3-turn cooldown on the A2 as well. All right, so a 75% booked up to 95 freeze on all enemies. That's a shame that it's not 100. Fills a turn meter of all allies by 15%. Fills a turn meter of all allies by an extra 5% for each freeze debuff placed by this skill. So, I mean, this is great. This is great. We get this big, juicy turn meter fill, along with the block debuffs, along with the crowd control, all in one ability. It's a great opening move now. She can be a speed booster, granted. She's not your quintessential speed champion with only 100 base speed, but there is a real high degree of versatility now from Gliseah Soulguide, and it gets better on the passive. But think about it, right? It's what Carolyn the Ringer is kind of like, again, kind of whispers of Carolyn the Ringer in this new build for her. And he has this this freeze, right? Fully depletes the turn meter of all freeze, but fills the turn meter of all allies by 10% for each freeze debuff that was blocked or resisted. Now, this is the opposite. It's only 5%, but there's also a 15% base, right? Now, Carolyn the Ringer, it is very conditional, but on paper, he could be one of the best turn meter boosters in the game. Now, Gliseah has a chance of that too, because you land 4 freezes, you're obviously looking at a 35% turn meter boost in the arena, right? Elsewhere, 40% turn meter boost, that's insane, right? Now, obviously, she has to land the freeze, but it's still really good regardless. It's a great buff to the A3. It still is a 4-turn cooldown, 5 booked down to 4. Her timeless passive Let's take a look at this rework. This champion's skills cannot be placed on cooldown. Whenever an enemy tries to put either this champion's skills or an ally skills on cooldown, place a freeze on that enemy. The freeze cannot be blocked by block debuffs or resisted. Okay. Has a 50% chance of denying the cooldown increase effects. I just want to make sure, sorry to keep going back in game, but I just want to make sure that the passive on Gliseah, because it's been a long time, can't be booked. Okay, so it can't be booked. It's just a straight up 50% chance. Has a 50% chance of denying the cooldown increasing effect. That chance increases by 25% for each enemy under freeze. Will not deny the cooldown increasing effects from bosses, okay? And then this is added as well. Whenever an enemy attempts to put either this champion skills or an ally skills on cooldown, instantly activates an instant turn effect on this champion. Occurs once per turn. Damn, guys. They nailed it here. They nailed it. The thing about Gliseah is she used to be a very niche and fairly bad champion, right? You can use her against lockouts, hope for the RNG, and that's it. But now she's suddenly not only great against lockout champions, but she also gives you versatility in other areas of the game. She's not only a mediocre or bad arena champion that's kit had promise, but not enough follow through. Now you can use her anywhere. I mean, you can AoE weaken with buff steal, with an AoE freeze, with block debuffs, turn meter fill all over the place, debuff spread. I mean, there's a lot to her kit now that you can utilize outside of just the arena against just lockout champions, even though that's where she'll still excel. Man, these buffs were nasty. I love them. And hey, guys, you're curious. Where does Predator stack up against Tars? How about Magnar? Where's Magnar fit in there? How about Narcissus? I just did an HP-based nuke off. The results were really fun, really interesting, some surprises and some non-surprises. You can check it out. It's on the screen right there. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Much love. And as always, take care, guys.